Hey everybody, it's Kevin McCarthy. I'm here with my top 10 films of 2016. I think it's been a phenomenal year for cinema. I've been seeing posts all over the place saying it's been a bad year for movies. I had trouble fitting 20 films into my top 10 this year, so I think it's been an incredible year for cinema. It's getting better and better all the time, and I love being able to share my cinematic love with you right here. And thank you to everybody who's watched any of my interviews this year and has commented. I just love being able to share my love of cinema with my cinematic heroes and talking to them, so it's an honor to be here talking to you guys today, and thank you so much. And I'm going to give you my top 10 of the year. I'm going to go through some of the ones that were in the honorable mentions first, and then I'll get to the official top 10 of the year. So first up in the honorable mentions list, Doctor Strange. I thought Scott Derrickson did a phenomenal job with this movie. The action was so mind-blowing. I was blown away, nerd tears beyond belief watching this film. I thought Benedict Cumberbatch was fantastic. The action sequence at the end when everything was reversing, I was geeking out beyond belief. I thought it was an incredibly well-made, well-told Marvel action film. Also, I had Sully on there. I thought Clint Eastwood did a great job with the subtlety of that movie. Loved the editing of that film, and Tom Hanks was phenomenal. Love Midnight Special. Jeff Nichols, great director, great movie. Love Michael Shannon. Keep working together, please. 10 Cloverfield Lane, Dan Trachtenberg, great story. Love that film as well. Zootopia, really well-made animated movie, and I love the Breaking Bad reference, the greatest TV show in the history of television. Love that that was in there. A Monster Calls, Liam Neeson, phenomenal job with the motion capture, a beautiful story, very hard to watch, but really, really well done. Hidden Figures, one of the most important films of the year. Taraji P. Henson, what a film. Pharrell, great music. Keanu made me laugh so hard. Love that movie. I gotta mention Swiss Army Man, Daniel Radcliffe, and then now I'm gonna get to my top 10 of the year. All right, here we go. 10 to 1. This is just off the cuff. Here we go, off the top of my head. Number 10, Sausage Party. Love this movie. I thought it was a hilarious film. I thought it was part horror. I thought it was thought-provoking. I thought it covered so many serious topics in this ridiculously overly raunchy animated film. Seth Rogen did a brilliant job. I thought that Edward Norton delivered the best performance he's done since Fight Club. He was so good in this movie. I love Sausage Party. That is my number 10. Oddly enough, I thought it was a fantastic movie. Number 9. Now, number 9 was going to be either Doctor Strange or Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. The reason why I went with Rogue One was because of the 2-minute sequence at the end of the film in the third act. I won't spoil what that sequence is, but in my opinion, it's the best scene that this character has ever been in a Star Wars movie. I did have problems with Rogue One. I thought Rogue One had a slower second act. I thought the dialogue was a bit forced at times, but overall, once you get to that third act, that's what Star Wars fans are looking for, and that's where it delivered, and that's why I gave it the number 9 slot over Doctor Strange, because that last 2 minutes or so is incredible. Next up, Hell or High Water. What a film this was, a sleeper film this year. Jeff Bridges, Chris Pine, Ben Foster, what a performance from everybody in this movie. It's shot gloriously, like No Country for Old Men style. Written so well, really well done. Love this movie from start to finish. Very gritty, but really worth watching. Number 7, I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, and I have no problem with this. I loved Batman vs. Superman, but I'm going to specify the Ultimate Edition. I think the R-rated 3-hour cut of this movie was fantastic. I think Zack Snyder is a phenomenal filmmaker, an extraordinary storyteller. Now here's the thing. I did have problems with this movie. I thought that Lex Luthor, Jesse Eisenberg, not that strong. I did think that Lois Lane's storyline, not that strong. But overall, every action scene, Ben Affleck, best Batman, hands down since Michael Keaton. No question. He's a better Batman than Christian Bale. Bale was a better Bruce Wayne, in my opinion. I think the Batmobile sequence, the Batman-Superman fight scene, all amazing. Every one of those fight scenes were amazing, and the 70mm IMAX for some of those shots were incredible. The Hans Zimmer Junkie XL score, I love that movie, especially the Ultimate Edition. I had problems, but I thought it was a very fun film. Next up, number 6, Captain America Civil War. That 17-minute airport sequence is worth the entire price of admission. Blew my mind, all those characters fighting. The best introduction to Spider-Man I've ever seen with Tom Holland. Loved him playing Spider-Man. I actually didn't mind Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 2. Didn't care for the Andrew Garfield films. Thought he was a good Spider-Man though, but Tom Holland to me, best Spider-Man to date. That film was insane. 17-minute action scene. Russo brothers, Thank you for that. Thank you very much. Number 5, Moonlight. What a film. I mean, that's why I love movies. Look at the difference in all these movies that are on this list because there's so many great different films this year. Moonlight, to me, has the best poster of 2016, but also it's a film that really, it hits you and you leave and you think about it, about this incredible man growing up in Miami. And it is very, very, very great to watch, beautifully written, wonderfully acted and directed by Mr. Barry Jenkins. Highly recommend seeing that. Number 5 is Moonlight. Number 4, Sing Street. Hey, Weinstein Company, please put this movie up for awards. This movie deserves Best Picture nominations, Best Director nominations. It has the best songs I've heard in a movie all year, next to La La Land and Hidden Figures. And it's a movie about a young boy who's trying to impress a girl by forming a band. And it's so simple, but it's so effective, and the music is incredible. Drive It Like You Stole It will always be in my head forever. I love that song. It's available on Netflix if you haven't seen it. Really, really recommend it. It'll put the biggest smile on your face ever. Number 3, La La Land. Love this movie. I mean, Damien Chazelle is 31 years old. 31 years old. He's making movies on his second film that most filmmakers will never be able to make in their career. I feel like he's an old soul. And I think that Ryan Gosling really playing the piano, Emma Stone really connecting to this character of an auditioning actress, shot on glorious 35mm film. It looks incredible. The camera's a leading character. We're zooming in and out. It's sweeping. It's beautiful. It's an epic, epic film that revolutionizes the musical. And there's a scene in the movie where John Legend says to Ryan Gosling's character, you know, you're the one who's keeping jazz back because you're not revolutionizing it for different audiences. Damien Chazelle did the exact same thing with the musical here. He has revolutionized the musical and made it for a broader audience than just the older films from back in the day, like Singing in the Rain, which I love, but people aren't watching those as much anymore, so hopefully this will bring back that musical quality. Love that movie. Number 2, Arrival. What a film. I've seen it twice. Denis Villeneuve has not directed a bad film yet. I think I'm pronouncing his last name right, but he is phenomenal. I'm very, very excited about Blade Runner 2049. I love Sicario, love Prisoners, and I really, really loved Enemy. The ending of this movie is so mind-blowing that I've had hours and hours and hours of conversations with friends about what the heck happened at the end of that movie. Amy Adams, Jeremy Renner, phenomenal. Best film score of the year. Johan Johansson, I believe is how you pronounce his name. He's phenomenal, incredible, incredible composer. Love that movie, Arrival. I cannot wait for Blade Runner. And then number 1, this has actually been my number 1 since February. I figured that something would eventually top it, but nothing did. And I remember seeing this movie when I was at a press junket in San Francisco, and I went back and saw it again the next night because I loved it so much. And this little film is called Deadpool. And I thought Deadpool was masterful from start to finish. Now, you might be wondering, why is this raunchy, R-rated, comedy, violent comic book film up at your number 1? I think it's all about the necessity is the mother of invention idea. This is a $58 million film that made over $700 million worldwide. Money I'm not talking about, but look at the budget. They did things in this film because they had a small budget. For example, the scene when he has the 12 bullets and he's counting down, that moment was supposed to be a gigantic shootout, but they couldn't afford it, so they made a joke that he only had 12 bullets in his gun. Same joke as later on in the movie when the cab driver drops him off and he forgets his guns in the back seat. That's only because he couldn't afford to put that massive action scene in the film, but those jokes ended up making the movie work better. I think Ryan Reynolds, passion project, 11 years, love this movie so much. I love how they animated his eyes. He had to redo every single scene again without the mask on to get the eyes to animate that way. It's very, very well made. Script is phenomenal. I love the script so much. I think everyone did a wonderful job. Tim Miller, Ryan Reynolds. I think it deserves a Best Picture nomination. It probably won't happen, but I really do think it does. I think Ryan Reynolds is incredible in the movie. He was born to play this role. Really highly recommend seeing it. I gave it a 5 out of 5. My number 1 of 2016. All right, tweet me yours at Kevin McCarthy TV. Comment below. Let me know what you think. That was all on the top of my head, so if I messed something up, let me know. I apologize in advance. I'm thirsty. I'm gonna have some coffee now. But I love you guys. Happy holidays. Everyone be safe, and thank you so much for all your support.